Now, in your life, have you ever considered or thought that you did something and you said, I'm like my father or mother? Have you ever come across that? Yeah, because why? You have you've seen it in your life. Impressions are there, samskars. So it is important first you practice properly, then you also teach the child properly. Now, before you came, we already discussed this thing. If the child want to be very good, you first practice Garbhadhana Samskar. Then you can guide the child easily. The child has got good intelligence from previous life and he will take up whatever the good things are told to him. You should read the book Devadas by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. I think it's Devadas. Huh? No, Devadas. There's a book written by a little boy. He becomes a pure devotee eventually, but you can see what influences him and how he takes up. Two person can have the same influence. One will take it up, one will not. Right? So why? So one is Purva Karma, mercy. The other one is.
But the holy name is so purifying that if they are in that surroundings, they should automatically.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You have to take it up. There is positive influence for sure, but it's up to you how you take it up, right? Like for example, if somebody is cooking in the kitchen, you can smell and say that's a nice prasad, but if you didn't eat it, how you know it's very nice? Huh? Prabhupada gives the example of the jar of honey. The same thing, you may be within the environment and there's some effect, so that smell will stick on your clothing, and so there's some effect, but not really, you didn't taste it really. So therefore they have some samskar, they'll remember, my father told me I didn't do it. Yeah. So that way they can change later on, hopefully. Right? Like that, Devadas, right? Yeah, so I'm right. So we all can read that. It's good for grihasthas raising children.
I'll send it.
It's a video.
I'll send it.
Yeah.
Because it encouraged the parents to raise the child nicely. That book is it's not a long novel, it's a short novel, but it's very nice. And even the kids can read. I think I remember I told Srinivas, no? I got the same
Srinivas.
Yeah, so he read it to his son and he said his son was so impressed at that time when he was a little boy. When I came like 10 years later. Right, so if you are after a lot of things, acquiring material wealth and so on, then you are practically motivated by the mode of passion. Because you want so many things to enjoy. And then the mind and the senses are the 11 commanders, Prabhupada says. So the mind makes plans and the 10 senses will say, we will enjoy. And because the intelligence is not smart, it doesn't control the mind.
Mind's demands.
Yeah. If the intelligence is not purified, then the mind will be the commander. So that is why we are trying to. The way to purify intelligence is
Chanting the
reading scriptures.
Command.
Yes.
Can you say that again, Prabhu? I don't see that commander word, or maybe use that term.
It is there.
Yeah, the mind is always making plans. 10 commanders.
Yeah.
10 commanders have the 10 senses and the object of senses.
No, this senses.
The senses. Okay.
Yeah. The object of senses are 5: form, taste, like that. Right? Which we did in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah,
That's
text 4. Chachara mrgayam tatra dripta ateshu karmuka dhaya jayam atad arham mrgavya Mrigavyasana
Mrigavyasana.
It was almost impossible for King Puranjana to give up the company of his queen even for a moment. Nonetheless, on that day, being very much inspired by the desire to hunt, he took up his bow and arrow with great pride and went to the forest, not caring for his wife.
So he actually went to the DYS class that day.
Not really. Prabhupada says one form of hunting is known as woman hunting. Woman hunting, man hunting. The conditioned soul is never satisfied with one wife. Those whose senses are very much uncontrolled especially try to hunt for many women. So here King Puranjana is doing that. He's giving up his wife. He's going looking for another enjoyment, right? It's like the cow. It sees the grass on the other side of the fence to be greener. Actually it's the same grass. So it's the same problem. So, the mind is always, and the intelligence always saying what to the choices, right? This or that, right or wrong. Sometimes we don't know what is right and what is wrong. So, if we don't have the proper knowledge and proper training from young, then we will make bad choices. It's not a question of, you will know it. You will know it. How will you know it? For most people, if it hurts or it gives distress, that's not good. But that's not the right understanding, right? A surgeon will cut you, that will hurt, but it's good for you sometimes. So that's not how we view things. So training is important. When you train your intelligence, you will understand. So your intelligence should be through Shastra Chakshu. You have to see through scriptures, then you are intelligent. In any situation in your life, even in a work situation, you have to fall back and see through scriptural vision in your life. No, honestly, even if you get promotion or not get promotion, even if you are the CEO of the company, you should always, as a devotee, stand a little bit back and say, where am I going, Then you'll make good choices. But if you are in the moment, like Prabhu was saying, then that's it. You are in the moment.
No, but if we seriously assess, we have to quit, Prabhu. There's no hope.
No, these are preparation. No, if you don't prepare, how you quit? I'm telling you, you will be like Arjuna in the forest.
And trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Come
so
back.
you can't.
He'll come back.
Yeah, after a while you apply for job. It doesn't work. You have to purify what you are doing. Prabhupada never did force people, no, but these people were already not doing anything, so he took them in and made them. They already gave up already, so they have to take us but you are doing something, so you can't say you have to quit. No, you have to prepare. Remember, I told you plan. At least, how much Krishna conscious activities you are doing at home.
You do Aarti in the morning and evening.
That's all like, follow the rhythm,
Ritual.
The hand will automatically move.
Exactly. Aarti means you are experiencing a great association with the Lord. As a Devasa, you have to do all this. It's not like 1, 2, 3, then you are not even taking darshan. No. My Lord, I am offering you, please accept these auspicious items for your pleasure and benediction, so that we can be purified. This kind of relationship you have to do.
This is the same question I had yesterday. The continuation is that we are doing mechanically everything that
So don't.
The book has prescribed, right? That's it. We're doing
It is
everything.
in the beginning, yes, it's mechanical, but you must be developing taste. You are having taste because you haven't given it up. But the point is, it hasn't grown to a point where you relish it.
Love it.
Just like Puranjana is going on hunting because he has a desire. So he abandons and he runs.
Higher taste.
So the same thing, you should have a taste that even if you are working, you are thinking, I'm going to go home and do Aarti. That should be your pleasure. Huh?
Be excited.
You should be excited to do the Aarti.
Ideally.
Instead of calling someone and saying, no, I can't come, can you do that? That means there's no attachment for that. You see that it becomes a material obstacle. We shouldn't think like that. So it is a matter of practice.
There is one lecture Srila Prabhupada gave title called The Burden of Blessing.
Mm.
Talking about deity worship. He's telling if you don't see the deity as a person, then it becomes
It's
a
a
burden.
burden.
You think Guru Maharaj has left a burden for me.
Yeah.
Galagra.
Yeah. So one time I went, the first time I went to Mayapur, they went on this parikram. So on the parikram when we went to this Champahati. So at Champahati there was this elderly person. He's a brahmachari all his life. He joined when he was like 16 or 15 years old. So then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, you stay here and you take care of the deities. So when we went there, he was already 75 or something years old. That was in the 90s. 70 something years old. And so later on in the 2000 he passed away, and he was still there. And when he was there, when we went there, he cooked so much, for 200 people came, he cooked so much he bought with his own money and so on prashadam, and he didn't want to sit and eat. He was just running around like a little boy serving, because he was relishing it. So that is a good example. So wow, you can pray, I want to be like this person. That's all. Bhaktisiddhanta initiated him and told him, okay, I'll give you Diksha now. You stay here, take care of the deities. And he left. He said, it's Guru Maharaj. He didn't see after that. Only when he comes to Parikram, he sees it. He never left the place. So these are things that, you have to accept and say, yes, I have to do like this. Planned it, okay? Now you have a child, you have a daughter. So you plan, now in another 10 years I'm going to get married, my daughter married off like that. And then my son. All this you have to think about. But ultimately you should think, how am I going to be Krishna conscious with all this happening? Right? If you're not going to think like that, then why you ask the question? So then if you can do it, if it works for you, then you can help so many other people. Right? These things help me. There's 5 things that help me. You can try. Some people say, 3 of these things is good for me. So that's association. Not exchanging, I bought this stock, this is good. You better buy this stock shares, and then you'll get good, when you retire, you get enough money. That's not association. These are spiritually you enliven each other. That's real association. That's okay. The other is okay association, but it's not eternal association. Yeah. Because I see usually in Sunday people will be all talking about stock market. Where. That's crazy actually. Anyway, text 5. Asurim vritim asritya Goratma niranugraha Nyahanam nishitar banair Maneshu vanagocharam. At that time, King Puranjana was very much influenced by demoniac propensities. Because of this, his heart became very hard and merciless, and with sharp arrows he killed many innocent animals in the forest, taking no considerations. So basically, unrestricted sense enjoyment. And when you are unrestrictedly enjoying senses, you actually don't care about anybody or anything in your way. Huh? Bewilderment. Remember? Dhyayato? That's what it is. Yes. So therefore here also Prabhupada says, to maintain slaughterhouses means you must be also like having demoniac So these are coming because of mode of ignorance. Pretty much devastating increase in ignorance and passion. So Prabhupada says almost all men are asuric or demoniac. Right? It's true. So therefore, when you kill poor animals like that, how can you say you are merciful? The compassionate, that thing is not there. And when you do kill unnecessarily, then it will come around. What goes around comes around. So it comes around in pestilence and war. That's how it comes out. Therefore you see some crops are not growing properly. Already they are lamenting, corn is not growing properly. They do so much GMO stuff and now the corn is not growing properly. Right? So Prabhupada talks about how bad killing is. And so in our movement he says animal killing is prohibited. No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Alright, I'll stop here.
Welcome to Applied Spirituality with Radhanath Swami on devotionalnectar.com.
Alright, so we're done for today. We'll continue from text 6 tomorrow.